is dark. But when you on the light, what happens? You can see everything. So the things there before in the room, it was there. So our journey is only to facilitate the child to see what is within the child. We are not going to teach what is in the room. We are not going to teach the functions of the things. We can guide, but not teach. So Dayanand Saraswati says, a teacher does not produce anything, nobody can produce knowledge. Knowledge is the accurate measurement of what is. The teacher throws light upon something which is already there. The light does not produce the object. It merely dispels the darkness so that I can see it. A light in the dark room produces neither room nor the objects. It only reveals what is. So the child has to go through the journey. Now look at Swami. This is the bank of Chitravati river. A true teacher is not only a preceptor and a guide, but also a philosopher. The teacher is called an Acharya. So that is why the Gurukula system and the Acharya is connected. Because Buddhism is taken from Sanskrit, all the teachers call the teachers in Thailand Ajahn. But how many of us follow the Acharam, the culture of the noble teacher? So that is what we need to think. He is one who pours the divine consciousness and its constituting light and power and bliss into all those who are receptive of him. Now you look at Swami, he is there, and like I said, how many of them want to go to Swami? How many people do want to come and see us as teachers? They're not looking at us as teachers. We should be embodiments of love so that people would, you can draw people to us. That is when you realize that Swami is working within you. If it's only the Balika students and your school students, then we realize that there's something wrong somewhere. When we see Swami in Prashanti, we would like his discourse, but more than that, we want Swami's attention. It's very normal. The last trip I went, he never looked. But I cried in the last darshan, and a loud voice came within me. Be a mother to my children. So Swami actually wants us to realize that his mission is for us to move from where we are to become a mother to the children. Now our souls need daily nourishment, not only as children. So we don't look only the students, we got to nourish the divinity within us too, as we do with the child. Now such devotion and selflessness will build a bonding between the teacher and student. I could see the change in Satya Sai school. Dr. Jungsai first came in, he used to have meetings with the teachers. Slowly we see the students moving along with him. Now we have hardly time with him. We can't meet him, we can't talk to him, because he always says, the students want this, the students want that. It's only students now for him. So it's come to a stage where the lesson plans, the teachers, meetings, all became very small. Now the students have become very large. I had a problem. It's my fault. When I was doing Balavikas, I found a bit difficult to work with some of them, and I told Swami, I'm stopping it. I can't do something where I can't find meaning. And I told him, if you want me to do it, you will show some sign. And that day when I went marketing, there was a mother, Balavikas mother, she said, excellent, continue, he said. So I said, okay, I have to continue. With all the same teachers. And then I said, okay, now I have got to think what to do. I realized that it is not the teachers I have to focus, it is the student. You see, if the student, if I can make 2 or 3 children realize that they are spiritual, they are divine beings, I think I have accomplished my task. I am not bothered anymore with the teachers, of the curriculum or anything. This is as a Balika's Guru. School teachers will face a lot of problems. Now, Swami's lessons are lessons of educare, but education requires memory and intelligence. Professor Anil Kumar says, education requires memory and intelligence, which we are doing in school now. But Swami's lessons are educare. Any ideal teacher from any religion, his noble teachings will be following the method of educare, which we need to integrate with education now. Influence is more important than example. Influence is not outward authority of the teacher over his disciple, but the power of his contact, very important, of his presence, of the nearness of his soul to the soul of another, infusing into it, even though in silence, that which he himself is and possesses. This is the supreme sign of the master. I had to experience with Dr. Jumsai in Satya Sai school. I had to start serving him directly. I was very lucky because many people didn't get the chance. He used to come often to the office, but every time I did my emailing for him, he used to leave something behind before he left the room. One day I was sitting alone in the office. There was no one around. I didn't even feel like switching the lights because I was so depressed. I had to work alone. And I was just working on the computer and he just came in. The first thing I told him was, I feel so lonely. And then he kept quiet, he came and he asked me the work, everything was over. It just took half an hour, he went back. But before he left the room, he said, don't feel lonely, he said. So you see, remember, it's not just work, the feeling of the student. And then I could realize the love of the teacher. Just like when a child comes to class, first of all we start the lessons. Instead we need to find out the feelings of the child. I had gone for an English seminar and I found in English, one of the teachers was saying, a student came running in the morning and he said, teacher, my parents has an accident last week. So the teacher said, no, not has, met with an accident. Now we have to think, this is what we are doing now to our children. I tried to put in English grammar, I was drilled, I did the same thing and I didn't bother. Now I could relate myself with a teacher. Never bothered about the feeling of the child. And went back to the lesson because 40 minutes you have to finish everything. So now we got to think about this. He is one, again this is a repetition, who calls the divine consciousness and is constituting light and power and bliss into all who are receptive of him. Now what exists in school today, I'm moving back from the ancient to now. Fear and hopelessness, it's true. We have many cases of suicides now. What does not exist? Courage, truth, peace and love. It's always THV. Or the 5 human values that could lead us to his goal. Now, Maslow's theory, if you look at the educational theories, in Scopus it says, you should fulfill the physical, emotional, mental, esteem and self-actualization needs of the child. Now we go from the physical, we may give the child the physical need. Emotional, I'm not sure, some of us may, some of us may not. Mental, we don't know what the child wants. Are we dealing with the child mentally? We need to realize that. Self-actualization, I could relate to myself with Dr. Jumsai when he started finding out what the child wants, and now he's trying to make sure that the child reaches his ambition. It's not really finishing up with the school. The aim of the child, his ambition has to be fulfilled. So he's trying to go into that step now. He's trying to help. He's sending out children to a side devotees home outside Thailand, abroad, English-speaking homes, so that they can stay with the English homes for 2 months so that they can learn the language. Then they can understand everything. Internet, newspaper, everything, because this is lacking in Thailand. Now the Gurukula, ancient Gurukulas fulfilled all these. Qualities of a teacher, Sister Lorraine used to tell us, you must have the heart of Jesus, the head of Buddha, the hands of Janaka, very generous. And of course we have the perfect embodiment, Sri Satya Sai Baba. The teacher is a contemplative observer, he states, Richard Brown says in his article, one of my greatest revelations as a teacher of young children in a Buddhist-inspired school was that spiritual education is not about creating some kind of educational nirvana. Educational nirvana is liberation. Now, we don't need to tell children about liberation before we even teach them the sacredness of the everyday learning. My friend told me she was asking students certain questions. So